You ever notice that two people can make the exact same salary and end up in completely different places 10 years later? Same city, same job, same paycheck. But one of them has savings, investments, options, and the other one is still living paycheck to paycheck, wondering where it all went. It's not luck. It's not even income. It's the small monthly purchases that nobody talks about. The ones that feel totally normal, totally justified, totally harmless, until you do the math. And the math is brutal. Today we're going to look at 7 things that quietly drain ordinary people every single month. Things that wealthy people figured out a long time ago are just not worth it. And once you see this pattern, you can't unsee it. The first one is extended warranties and protection plans. You buy a new laptop, a TV, a phone, and right at the checkout, the salesperson smiles and says, for just a few dollars a month, you can have complete peace of mind. Sounds reasonable. Feels responsible even. But here's what's actually happening. Consumer Reports found that extended warranties cost far more than the repairs they ever end up covering. The failure rate on most electronics in the first few years is extremely low, and the stores that sell these plans make enormous profit margins on them, sometimes over 50%. Wealthy people self-insure. They build a small emergency fund specifically for broken things and skip the monthly fee entirely. Over a lifetime, this single habit saves thousands. The second thing is name brand groceries. Walk into any grocery store, and you'll see 2 versions of almost everything. The brand you recognize with the colorful packaging, and the store brand sitting right next to it for significantly less. Most people grab the name brand on autopilot. Researchers at MIT actually ran blind taste tests and found that consumers could not reliably distinguish between name brand and store brand products in the majority of categories tested. The ingredients are often identical. Sometimes they come from the exact same factory. The price difference is pure marketing. Wealthy people understand that brand loyalty in a grocery store is just a paid subscription to someone else's advertising budget. Switching to store brands on staple items like oil, pasta, cleaning products, and medicine alone can save a family over $1,000 a year. The third one is going to make some people uncomfortable because it feels like a basic need. It's buying brand new cars. Not cars in general, but specifically new cars driven off a dealership lot. A new car loses roughly 20% of its value the moment you drive it away. In the first 5 years, it can lose up to 60%. That's not depreciation. That's a financial catastrophe disguised as a monthly payment. The average American spends over $500 a month on car payments. Over 10 years, that's $60,000, not counting interest and insurance. Wealthy individuals almost universally buy certified pre-owned vehicles 2 to 3 years old. They let someone else absorb that brutal first depreciation curve and then buy in when the value has stabilized. Same car, fraction of the cost, lower monthly payment, better financial position. The fourth thing is lottery tickets and scratch cards. Now, before you say it's just a couple of dollars, let's actually do that math. $2 a day is $60 a month. Over 20 years, invested at a modest 7% annual return. That's over $30,000. The actual odds of winning a significant lottery prize are around 1 in 300 million. You are statistically more likely to be struck by lightning twice. But here's the deeper psychological issue. Lottery tickets are not really a financial product. They're an emotional product. They sell hope to people who feel like the system isn't working for them. And the data is painfully clear. The people who spend the most on lottery tickets as a percentage of their income are the people who can least afford it. Wealthy people don't buy lottery tickets because they already understand how compounding works. And compounding is a much better bet. The fifth one surprises people. It's minimum payments on credit cards. Not credit cards themselves, just making the minimum payment every month. Here's how this works. You have a $2,000 balance on a card at 20% interest. You make the minimum payment every month. It will take you over 15 years to pay that off, and you will pay nearly $3,000 in interest alone on top of the original amount. You will have paid almost $5,000 for $2,000 worth of stuff. Wealthy people either pay off their credit card balance in full every single month, or they don't use credit cards at all for purchases they cannot afford. Minimum payments are one of the most effective wealth transfer systems ever invented. Money moves quietly from people who don't understand interest to people who do. The sixth thing is subscription creep. This is a modern one that is absolutely destroying household budgets silently. Streaming services, app subscriptions, monthly boxes, software trials that converted, fitness apps you haven't opened, cloud storage you didn't know you were paying for. The average American household is now spending over $300 a month on subscriptions. And in study after study, when people are asked to estimate how much they spend on subscriptions, they consistently guess less than half of the real number. Each one feels trivial. $8 here, $12 there. But stacked together, they become a second car payment. Wealthy people audit their subscriptions ruthlessly every quarter. They treat recurring charges like small employees. If it's not producing value, it gets cut immediately without sentiment. The seventh thing is fast fashion. The idea that buying cheap clothing frequently is somehow more economical than buying quality clothing less often is one of the most expensive lies in consumer culture. A $20 shirt that falls apart in 4 months costs $60 a year to maintain. A $70 shirt that lasts 3 years costs about $23 a year. The cheaper option costs nearly 3 times more over time. And that's before you factor in the psychological cost of a closet full of things that don't quite fit right and don't make you feel good. Wealthy people tend to buy fewer things and better things. Not because they're snobs, but because they've done the math and they understand that cost per use is the only number that actually matters. Now here's the bigger picture. None of these 7 things are individually catastrophic. That's exactly why they're so dangerous. Each one feels like a small, reasonable choice. But together, they form a system. A system designed to extract a few dollars here, and a few dollars there in ways that are hard to track and easy to rationalize. The difference between building wealth and struggling financially is rarely one dramatic decision. It's almost always 100 small, quiet decisions made on autopilot every single month. Wealthy people aren't smarter. They're not luckier. They've just built different defaults, different automatic behaviors around spending. And the good news is that defaults can be changed. You don't have to overhaul your entire life. You just have to look honestly at what's leaving your account every month and ask a simple question. Is this actually serving me, or am I just used to it? Because being used to something is not a reason to keep paying for it. And the moment you start asking that question, everything starts to shift. If this changed how you think about your monthly spending, hit the like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who need to hear this. And if you want to keep going deeper into how money actually works in the real world, subscribe, because we're just getting started.